Hello, grade 5, and welcome to our new lesson, which is addition and subtraction of decimals. In this session, we are going to talk about addition of decimals. But before we start, we are going to review the addition of whole numbers. Let's add in part 1, 5,430 plus 915. Can I add them directly? No. So let's write them in the vertical form. So writing the first number, which is 5,430, and let's line the second number under the first number. So we put the ones under the ones, tens under the tens, and hundreds under the hundreds. And now we are ready to add. So we start from the right to the left. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. 9 plus 4 it's 13. We put 3 down and 1 carry out. So the answer will be 6. Now let's move to part 2. Similarly, we want to add these two whole numbers. We said that to add them, first of all, we have to line them correctly in the vertical form. So writing the first number and then we line up the second number. So put the ones under the ones and the tens under the tens and so on. Now we are ready to add. We start from right to left. 4 plus 6 it's 10. We put 0 and 1 carry out. So 2 plus 1 it's 3. 1 plus 0 it's 1. 3 plus 7 it's 10. We put 0 and 1 carry out, so it will be 4 plus 1. The answer is 5. So our final answer is 50,130. Now we are ready to talk about addition of decimals. So let's learn how to add two decimals. To add two decimal numbers, we have to arrange them in the vertical form such that the point under the point, the same digits above each other. So we put the ones under the ones, the tens under the tens, and similarly in the decimal part, the tenth under the tenth, hundredth under the hundredth, and so on. We put zeros in the empty spaces. And now we are ready to add. We start adding from right to left. And finally, we drop the decimal point. Let's make an application. Add these two decimal numbers. First of all, we have to write these two decimal numbers in the vertical form, such that we put the point under the point and then we line up the digits under each other. So let's first write the first number. This is the first number. Now let's line up the second number under the first number. So we put the tenth under the tenth. We put the point under the point and we continue with the other digits. We have here empty digits, so you can put zeros or you can leave them empty. But I prefer to put 0 in the empty spaces. Now we are ready to add these two decimal numbers. To add them, we start from right to left, starting with the first two digits to the right. 3 plus 0, it's 3. 5 plus 2, it's 7. 3 plus 5, it's 8. 7 plus 1, it's 8. And 4 plus 0, it's 4. Are we done? No, don't forget to write down the decimal point. We drop it down, so we put it under the other decimal points. So 473 and 23 hundredths plus 15 and 10 and 5/10 is equal to 488 and 73/100. Let's make another application without the place value chart. Let's add 25.3 plus 1.875. So let's line up the decimal numbers under each other. Don't forget to put the point under the point, just like the puzzle. We move the second number, so the point should be under the point. Then we line up the other digits. To the right of the point, we have 8. Look here. And then we write the other digits. To the left of the decimal point, we have 1. So what to do with the empty digits? We put zeros. And now we are ready to add, starting from right to left. 5 plus 0, it's 5. 7 plus 0, it's 7. 8 plus 3, it's 11. We put 1, and the other one is carry out. So it should be 5 plus 1, it's 7, and 2 plus 0, it's 2. And we put the decimal point under the other decimal points. Don't forget to drop down the decimal point. Look at example 3. Let's line up the decimal numbers under each other. Put the decimal point under the decimal point, and then write the other digits to the right of the decimal point and to the left of the decimal point. Then you can put zeros in the empty spaces. Finally, you can add, starting from right to left, and we drop down the decimal point in the last step. So here our final answer will be 24.759. Now, how to add a natural number with a decimal number? We said that to add two decimal numbers, we have to put the point under the point, but the natural number doesn't contain any decimal point. So what to do to add a natural number with a decimal number? We add a decimal point and the required zeros, then we add. Take an example. How to add these two numbers? Some of you think to add these two numbers, we write it in this way. 315, and they put the 18 here, which is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because you put 18, which is a whole part, under the decimal part. 18 is a whole part. It must be written under the whole part. We said that we put the ones under the ones, the tens under the tens. But here the whole number, it doesn't have any decimal point. So we add a decimal point, because we already explained that this decimal point can be written as 18.0. It's similar to 18. They have the same value. We put 0.0 to make our work easier. Let's check it down. Look here, we want to add 25.315 and 18. So, first of all, write the first number, which is 25.315, and to 18, what to do? We put to 18.0, and we put the point under the point, as you can see here, and then we write 18.0. And you can then add zeros in the empty spaces. Now we are ready to add. We start from right to left. 5 plus 0 it's 5, 1 plus 0 it's 1, 3 plus 0 it's 3. And we put the point under the point. And then we continue. 8 plus 5 it's 13, 3 and 1 carry out. Then 2 plus 1 plus 1, the final answer is 4. Let's make more examples. 314 plus 9.73. To add a decimal number and a whole number, keep it in your mind, we have to put 0.0. But here in the decimal part, I have 2 digits, so you can put 0.00 and then you can write them in the vertical form. So let's write them in the vertical form. 314.00, and then we line up the point under the point and we write the second decimal number. So we put here zeros in the empty spaces and we add starting from the right to the left. We put also the point under the point. 9 plus 4 it's 13, 3 and 1 carry out, 1 plus 1 it's 2 and 3, and this is our final answer. So we wrote 314 as a 314.00. We add a point to it so we can add it to another decimal number. Look at the second example, 134.62 plus 34. Let's start writing the first decimal number. How to write this number? We put point. So we put beside 34 a point. And then we write the point under the point. And it's 34 point. So how many zeros we should put? We should put 2 zeros under the 6 and under the 2. So it will be 34.00. And now we are ready to add. Add starting from the right. And this is the final answer, which is 68.62. What did we write instead of 34? We wrote 34.00. Finally, we want to talk about adding 3 decimal numbers. If you learn how to add 2 decimal numbers, if so, it's very easy to add 3 decimal numbers. To add 3 decimal numbers, we arrange them in the same way as adding 2 decimal numbers, such a way the point under the point and the digits after each other. Example, add 24.8 plus 17 plus 9.34. Look, here we have a natural number. Don't forget to add a natural number or a whole number with decimal numbers. We have to put a point. We put here 0.0. Okay, so let's add them. Using the place value chart, 24.8 and then let's put the second number, which is 17.0. Put the point under the point and then write the number down, which is 17.0, and we write the last number, which is 9.34. Put the point under the point, then line the digits under each other, line them properly. Finally, we put zeros in the empty spaces. Now we are ready to add, starting from right to left. We put the point under the point and here we have 4, here we have 11, 1 and 1 carry out, here we have 21, 1 and 2 carry out, and finally this is 5. So our final answer is 51.14. Let's take another applications. Add these three numbers. Don't forget, if you have any natural number, put a point to the right of this number, so it's easier to add it with any other decimal numbers. So it's 12.0. Then we put the point under the point and line up the digits correctly under each other. Then we continue to the third number, similarly the point under the point, and we line up the digits correctly. Then we put zeros in the empty spaces, and now we are ready to add, starting from the right to the left. Finally, we put the point under the point. Don't forget to drop down the point. This is our final answer. Let's take another example. Add these three numbers. Here we have two whole numbers. Don't forget to put 0.0. So it's easier for your work. Directly when you see a whole number and you want to add it with decimal numbers, write 0.0 and then you can add zeros as much as you like. Starting with the first number, which is 9.0, add to it 10.4. Don't forget to put the point under the point, and the last number, which is 52.0 also. And you can put zeros in the empty spaces. So our final answer will be, starting from the right to the left, 4, put the point under the point. Here we have 11, 1 and 1 carry out, and 5, 6, 7. This is the final answer. By this, we finished our session. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.